Check, 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 check. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in this evening. I'll be your host. Bobby, how you doing? Xavier, thank you so much for continuing your membership in the standing room. I really appreciate you. It means a lot. Members only is tomorrow, just a heads up. Jonathan with a rendition. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you so much. My moderator, Prodigy, Moose, Genetic, how you doing? Joe, how are you? JC, Jack, Anthony, Jord, Speed Racer, Mr. Bob Dylan's in the buildings, ladies and gentlemen. Snowman, Conrad. I'm never going to be able to pronounce your name right, man. I'm trying. Brian, how are you? Braden, what's going on? Connor, how you doing? Video Game Nation, what's up? Kit Kat, how you doing? John, how you doing? Elliot, how are you? Peter, hello. James, welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, oh man, we got my chair back there holding my laundry. I should probably move that. I'm going to move that. 1 second, chat. There's like 24 Johns in this chat. You know, I was sitting there and I was like, man, am I saying the same name over and over again? But no. What's up, Trick Shot? Chef, how you doing? How do I feel about trading for Brazier? I'm good. I'm good. Sue, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Whew. Chat. I like it, Prodigy. Yeah, just don't spam. Clip becoming a member. Red Sox fans are stuck in a forever nightmare, I swear. Folks. Yeah. First of all, can we get some likes on that? 23 months. Clip has almost been here for 2 years. 2 years. There it goes. Mr. Money Mike Madness, how are you? Your name's John too, JC? Oh, I'm calling you JC. W Clip. I know I love those gifts. I really don't want to get rid of them. I love them. So the plan tonight was originally going to be steak dinner. That sounds really good. I had mac and cheese and hamburger. Yeah, okay. So here's sort of, sorry, I'm kind of sort of rethinking this. I'll leave it up to you guys. So the original plan tonight was to sort of go over some outside options that we really haven't talked about on this channel and how they'd fit into the Red Sox and maybe their plans for 2025. Look at a couple of different sort of outside options, right? Bullpen arms, potential bats that maybe we haven't talked about a ton. However, after the video I put out today, hi, Dennis, Eric, hello. Carabas has been kind of going off on Twitter about this whole Bregman situation. I don't know. It's not good. It doesn't sound like it's good. But yeah, it just doesn't sound good. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want to talk about the external free agents first, or do you want to talk about the Bregman stuff? Because I don't know. I honestly don't know. What's up, Ben? Corbin, do I think the Dodgers are good or bad for baseball? Listen, if you're like 28 or older, like I'm just on the cusp of the great dominant Yankee teams. It's hard for me to sit here and be like the Dodgers are ruining baseball when the Yankees for years did the exact same thing, right? Years they did the exact same thing. They had unbelievably high payrolls, higher than anyone else in the league. Every big free agent always felt like was going to the Yankees, right? Now the Dodgers are doing it. Everyone's like, oh, it's bad for baseball, right? They didn't defer it at all, though. That's fine, right? That doesn't, to me, it doesn't really matter where the actual money is going or coming from. The point is that it's a similar philosophy, right? They had this sort of core, and then they were like, you know what? This is our window. We're buying everybody we possibly can, and we're making it the best possible window ever. Like, we've seen it before, and then they started cyclical in baseball, right? Well, you see it before, millions of times before, where one team's just significantly better than everybody else. All it means is that other owners in Major League Baseball, like, hey, the Red Sox in 2004, right? They got to put their balls to the wall. They got to do things and get creative to outsmart a team that's outsmarted a system, right? The Yankees were just throwing money at people. The Dodgers are cultivating this sort of winning, and the Yankees do the same thing, but they're sort of cultivating this winning aura around them that, hey, guys are willing to put off that money. That's what we kind of thought about the Atlanta Braves a couple of years ago too, right? Where the Atlanta Braves had, 7 or 8 guys that they locked up for little money, and it was because they cultivated this culture. Now teams are going to just simply have to get creative to be able to beat them, and that's, again, what the Red Sox did in 2004 is what teams are going to have to do to knock off the Dodgers. So do I think it's bad for baseball? Honestly, I don't. I think it breeds more competition. I think it gives you an enemy of the state to root for, which I love, right? You always love the angry person or the bad person. You love rooting against those guys, and it's going to be the Dodgers for 10 plus years. I have no problem with what the Dodgers are doing, and I think other owners in baseball just need to, instead of just sort of backing off and being like, hey, man, what are we going to do? They should nut up and get up there and compete with them. Right? I don't know. I don't know. So I think that's where I'm at, right? I'm more so angry about the idea that people are out there being like, my owner's cheap, so these guys shouldn't be able to do this. No, like, your owner should be better. Your owner should be doing what the Dodgers are doing. They're choosing not to, and I think that's a really big distinction to make, right? It's not that they can't do it; it's that they don't want to do it. I think that's a really, really big decision to make. What did we decide? Sorry, I got on an absolute tear there for no reason. I think I'm just mad at John Henry and the Red Sox in general. What do you guys want to do? Do we want to do Brett here? I'll put out a poll. We'll give it a couple minutes. We'll figure this out together. A's who spend more money than the Red Sox, man. We had this conversation last week. We had this conversation last week. I'm not going to go into it again. Conflict of interest when you own the Red Sox, Liverpool. It's not a conflict of interest. You should just be. You should just be able to invest in. If you're buying a sports team, you should be willing to invest in it. Thought my video today was positive regarding Bregman. I thought it was positive too, right? I thought it was positive too, and we'll talk about it. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to decide. Red Sox trolls tier list. I'm excited about Christian Campbell. I think we should trade David Hamilton. I mean, we'll see. The Red Sox have a million ways that they could trade around on this roster, which is a great thing. They have a million different directions they could go trade-wise. Positive image for the fan base. I kind of hate the idea that people are like, oh, it was all PR with the Red Sox and Soto. If it was all PR, let me ask you guys something. As someone who majored in marketing in college, who puts himself out in online every single day of my life, who works in marketing for a career or a job outside of YouTube, I sit here and I look at it when people go, oh, this was a PR move. From a risk to reward standpoint, putting all of your efforts into 3-hour-long meetings, flying across the country, having meeting with him, having meetings with Scott Boras, putting up $700 million with the off chance that, hey, he might take that deal, right? There is a small chance, but there was a chance that Soto sat there and he said, I want to play for the Red Sox. I'm going to take $700 million. If the Red Sox truly did not want Juan Soto in a Red Sox uniform, none of that makes any sense. Oh, but Corbin, the fans love it. They eat it up. They're going to buy tickets. Guys, they're not. No Red Sox fan is sitting here pumped that the Red Sox offered him $700 million and didn't get anything. Right? There was no reward at the end of this puzzle. This wasn't some marketing campaign, because marketing campaigns, guys, they have rewards. They have legitimate, tangible efforts that you can visualize, that you can analyze, and then you can predict on. You cannot do any of that with Juan Soto because he's not here in Boston. No one was happy that they did not get Juan Soto. There was not a single Red Sox fan that sat there and said, you know what? Yeah, it stinks they didn't get Juan Soto, but hey, they gave $700 million. It's a win for this offseason for me, right? I don't think anyone said that. So I don't love the idea of it was a PR move. Right? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, so let's pick up where so let's do Bregman. I think it's a Bregman 1, the update. Let's get this out of the way, and then we will talk about the other free agents, and we'll go through the rest of this live stream. So let's pick up where we left off in our video today, right? Because this morning, putting the pieces together, everything looked relatively positive, right? Carabas had sort of shifted his thinking a little bit. Baerga, whatever. I put that in there so you guys knew it was out there, so you guys could talk about it. I don't have a ton of faith in it. You've got the standstill from the Tigers. You've got the signing of Santander from the Blue Jays. And it was all of a sudden, it was like, okay, right? You're starting to sort of partially, right? I said at the end of the video, it was the first time truly in this Bregman stuff where I sat there and I said, the Red Sox could be onto something here, right? They might be playing this market smart. Well, the reason we are bringing them up again is because things change a little bit. I want to bring let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where exactly the conversation started here. Okay, so here's sort of, okay, so after my video comes out today, right? And again, it was I would say positive, right? I said it was positive. I said it was positive. And I stand by that, right? If we look at what was going on today, I think for the most part, I'm sorry, Chad. I'm just trying to pull this up. Okay. So here's sort of what immediately threw cold water onto this conversation we were having today, which sucks, again, because we were having a really good day, in my opinion. So here's where this starts, okay? Steve Peralt, Section 10. Jared Carabas, Section 10. You guys know who they are. I'm not going to try and explain that. Alex Bregman to the Red Sox is now at 42%. That's what Steve Peralt thinks. Carabas, nice little gift there, saying down. G-Mags, he comes in, he says, does that mean Steve is lowballing the percentage or the percentage should be lower? Carabas then goes, percentage should be way lower at this moment in time. Things can change and they probably will, but on January 22nd, 2025 at 1:23 p.m. Eastern, he's getting real specific, that percentage should be way lower, folks, way lower. And then he goes on to say, I'm getting the sense that you don't like the way the Red Sox have approached the entire Bregman situation hypothetically. Carabas' response, it's honestly pathetic. And then obviously we get Mariano Pepin, who historically not exactly fantastic. There's a couple of other things on here as well. Carabas is going into it. I'm not gonna sift through Twitter to try and find them for you guys because honestly, I just found it right as we started streaming here. But what it kind of sounds like is, I think we now kind of putting the pieces together, have some sort of contract offer from the Red Sox, right? The Red Sox are sitting there and they put at least some money on the table. At least some money on the table. Problem is, it sounds like that money is way lower than any other market, right? Yeah, so that's what it kind of sounds like to me. Now, Joe does bring up a good point, right? Carabas is friends with Bregman, so any market manipulation could be considered pathetic to him. And that's a really good point, right? Bregman could be sitting there. Bregman could be sitting there and saying, look, I don't want this from the Red Sox. I think I could get a better offer elsewhere. And Carabas is like, I can't believe they did this to you. You know what I mean? So there could be some of that in there. Now, what I will say is Carabas is usually pretty honest. He's usually pretty on point when it comes to Red Sox conversations. And again, this isn't just some random person that Carabas is getting information from. This is hypothetically, right, directly from Alex Bregman's camp. So you take in everything that we've gotten today, right? And again, none of this is scripted, so I'm trying to piece it together with you while we sit in chat. So you got the Detroit Tigers at a standstill. You have the Toronto Blue Jays, who just picked up Santander. Carabas is saying there's more teams involved. We don't know who those teams are, right? It could be the Mets. Hell, it could be the Dodgers, right? They're in on everybody. They might be able to find a way to sneak them into a roster somewhere. The Houston Astros manager today said, hey, arms are open, brother. Come back home. I don't know if that means... Cora said the same thing, right? This doesn't necessarily mean that the Astros are back in on him. So we don't really know who the mystery teams are. If there even are mystery teams, maybe that's something I don't know. Right? And I think this entire thing boils down to the Red Sox are sitting there. They're saying 3 years, 4th year option, whatever it is. We'll give you 4 years, 5th year option, whatever it is. They aren't going any higher. That's what they're doing. Right? And Carabas doesn't like it because he wants Bregman to the Sox. Is it the smart move? Ultimately, I don't know, right? That depends on whether or not he ends up with the Red Sox. I think at this point, what I'm expecting here is either the Red Sox play this perfectly and they end up with him on a short-term deal, which is ideal, right? That's exactly what I've wanted this entire offseason since the ideas come into play. Or the other option is he's going to go to a team on a deal that I think all of us would have done, right? My fear here is that the Red Sox are sitting there, they're saying 2 years. And he ends up signing for 3 or 4 on a very reasonable deal because he just wants to play ball, and we're going to be pissed. I think those are the only 2 outcomes at this point. Now, what I will say is one thing that's interesting that Carabas said in this specific article is right here, right? Right here, right? It almost sounds like this is a very preliminary offer, that this is sort of a testing the water offer from the Red Sox. That, hey, look, we're going to have this slight conversation. We're going to talk to you a little bit. We're finally going to put some money on the table. We want to know where you're at. We want to know where the competition's at. We just want to see what you think of this. And maybe, I'm sure Carabas is right, but I'm going to put maybe there just in case. Maybe Bregman sat there and said, God, this sucks. This is a shitty deal. Excuse me. This is a sucky deal. That doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean the Red Sox can't up their offer. That doesn't mean the Red Sox can't retool their offer, right? I think what we're talking about right now is a preliminary offer, a very early on. We're finally going to put some money on the table. Fine, you pushed us to the edge. Here's what we'd be willing to do. Let's have a conversation about it, and we'll see where things go, right? Again, you got Steve saying he's confident. You got Baerga saying he's confident. You got other people sort of in the space that maybe aren't super credited yet that are saying, look, maybe that, I'm starting to feel confident about this. I was putting pieces together today saying I'm feeling a little bit confident about this, right? Then you got Carabas throwing a little bit cold water on it. I'm going to take this right now as sort of and again, you guys always crucify me sometimes for being this blind optimist, but here's sort of what I'm thinking with this stuff is that the offer's on the table. It's not a good one. We knew the Red Sox weren't going to come in and be like, blow them away. F you money on the table. We're giving you 6 years, $300 million or whatever crazy contract that Bregman wanted to begin with. We knew that wasn't going to happen. We knew that the Red Sox, if they were interested in Bregman, were going to try and manipulate this market. We knew that they were going to try and bait him out as opposed to go in and get him. We knew that the contract wasn't going to be incredibly appealing. I think this is a first step. So you know what? I'm going to take it as a slighter positive than I thought I was going to, but I do think it throws a little bit of cold water on what we were talking about this morning. Does that make sense to you guys? Am I just talking out my butt here? Let me pull you guys back up. Sometimes I close you guys because I get incredibly distracted by chat, right? Yeah, I wouldn't either, Joe. I wouldn't either. Makes sense? Yeah, I'm just trying to logically look at everything, right? I'm just trying to logically look at everything. Though they're going to really be that detrimental if we don't end up with Bregman? It might not be. Here's the problem, Klebe, is we just don't know. Right? We just don't know. And the reason I say that is because there's a really legitimate chance that Christian Campbell, Vaughn Grissom, they're way better. They're way better than, even we anticipated. They have breakout seasons. They hold it down. There's a very good chance of that, right? Maybe Roman Anthony comes up and he's immediately an MVP candidate. At the same time, there's a very real possibility that those guys struggle, that they take time. Whether it be Grissom trying out this new regiment that the Red Sox got him on to put him on weight and to get him back to himself, that Christian Campbell, hey, maybe he can't handle a slider at the big league level, and we got to get him back down there and retool that. There's a chance Roman Anthony at 19 years old, 20 years old this season, isn't fully ready for Major League Baseball, and I think that's where us as fans or the organization really will be kicking themselves for not getting Alex Bregman this year, because if they truly want to compete during the 2025 season, and even beyond that, getting a guy like Bregman in there almost guarantees that you do that, right? Bregman will be an impact bat in this lineup. He will be an impact fielder on this defense. He will be an impact veteran in this clubhouse, right? Those are things that we can almost guarantee to know. If he is healthy, that is who he is going to be. And I think that's the big difference between, boy, is this going to be detrimental, and you know what, whatever, right? The problem with not signing Bregman is it opens up way too many question marks. It just does. It just does. And you could sit there and you could say, but I believe in Christian Campbell, and I believe in Christian Campbell, or I believe in Vaughn Grissom, and I believe in Vaughn Grissom, right? But at the same time, too, there's a difference between belief and certified bona fide results. And right now, one set is belief and the other is bona fide results. And that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Do I sell mugs? I sure do. Does that make sense? Imagine them blocking Pedroia the same way that you're going. The difference, everyone is saying this. Corbin, we can't block Christian Campbell. He's the next coming of Jesus Christ. Guys, Christian Campbell can solidly play every position on the diamond outside of first base and catcher. Right? He's played his most innings at second base, sure, but he also played almost equal innings at shortstop. He's played about 2/3 of the innings he's played at second base in left field, some in right field. He could certainly play center field. You're talking about a guy who you could squeeze in anywhere on this roster. Guy gets hurt, guy's not performing, guy gets traded, right? You can put Christian Campbell in there. It is almost physically impossible for the Red Sox to totally block off Christian Campbell. It's almost totally impossible. I hate that water bottle. Just the only one that I don't know why I keep grabbing it out of the we got like a thing. They could keep Campbell at second and get Profar to stick in left. You could get Alex Bregman, who's better or more reliable than Jurickson Profar, and put Christian Campbell in left, and it'd probably be better defense than if you got Jurickson Profar. That's my point. Oh, Jonathan? Right? That's my point. So what you're saying is his best position is second base? Whose? Christian Campbell's? Christian Campbell is a good defender everywhere, guys. Christian Campbell's a good defender everywhere. Vaughn Grissom is young enough where you could put him in the outfield. You could trade a Willier. You could trade a Cedon if you really need to. And the other thing that drives me crazy is everyone's like, oh, they're going to sign him to second base. He's locked into second base for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, we didn't just do the exact same thing with Story. Story was a second baseman for, what, a year? And now he's a shortstop? You're telling me that you can't sign Bregman for 3 years, trade Moss over the offseason, and put Devers at DH, or heaven forbid, trade Costas this offseason, put Devers at first base? You tell me you can't do that? That's impossible? Or hell, even put Bregman at DH at some point, right? It baffles me that you guys think that if Alex Bregman's signed to play second base, he's only going to play second base. Who's out in the outfield? I'm afraid Cedon doesn't bring you enough. The thing with Cedon that I think is interesting is you've already paid him, right? You've already paid him his money. It's kind of crappy to do this in your second year, but you could hypothetically sit there and say, look, you're going to be the Brock Holt, right? You're going to be the utility guy. You're going to play almost every day, but you're going to be in a different position almost every day. You can play almost every outfield position. You can play second base. You can play shortstop. Hell, you probably play third base if you really needed to, right? Go out there and be super versatile. You could do it. What percentage do I see? Do I give the Red Sox to sign Bregman? I don't know, man. I don't know. We're an 81-81 team. That's dead wrong. I'd give it like a 25% chance. Jay Pesos, you're just not. You're just not. I'm going to say 25. %70% they signed Bregman. Steve, I love your optimism, man. LA Dodgers have bought out all the best players. Sure have. 75% chance. We are an 81 win team. Peso, like, it's just not. Like, it's just, like, statistically, no. I don't think so. You know what's funny? I think Red Sox fans are more pessimistic about this Red Sox team than the rest of the country, which is crazy. Because normally it's the opposite, right? Normally the hometown fans are like, go get them, boys. And the rest of the country's like, oh, these guys are going to suck. I think this year it's these guys are going to suck coming from Dorchester to Quincy, right? And then or Dorchester Lowell, and then the rest of the country is like, go get them, boys. Joey had them last in the division. If the Red Sox this year finish behind the Tampa Bay Rays, I swear to God, I'll end this channel. I will. So I don't think we're getting Bregman. That's my answer. What do you? I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. Right? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's not no project. It's not your fault. It's my head. It's my head is just exploding. Right? It's just exploding. Someone put it in Jordan Montgomery terms today. Who was that? Brent, I think, in the comments. Jordan Montgomery to me was always us as fans sitting there saying, he's right there, Red Sox. He's right there. Go get him. Right? But we found out the Red Sox were never really in the conversation. With the Bregman stuff, we're sitting there, we're saying, Red Sox, he's right there. Go get him. Right? A majority of fans, I would say, are sitting there saying, go get him. Go get him, Tiger. Right? And kiss him on the cheek or something, a little MJ. And the difference, I think, is that Bregman does want to come to Boston, right? I think that's been publicized. He likes the park. We talked about it before. He's very good at Fenway. He loves Alex Cora. I think he's going to like the team. I think he's built for the city. We know that he wants to come here. That's the difference, right? But last year it was Jordan Montgomery where we were sitting there, his girlfriend or his wife or whoever is doing rounds in Boston, and that's going to connect him to the Red Sox, and he wants to stay at home, and the Red Sox put an offer on the table, so maybe there's a chance, and then we sit there and we run, and this year, we don't really need to make those connections, right? We know he wants to be here, so... What happened to your red seat? I would guess your membership ran out, my friend. You explain this in Kevin Hart terms. Sox are off to a solid start for the first part of the season, and now we're moving slower than a turtle. Yeah, but the problem with this is that if the Red Sox don't get Bregman, people are going to be like, the offseason was terrible, and just totally forget that they traded for the youngest, highest velocity, best statistical pitcher on the market in Crochet. If they extend Crochet, this is a big this is a big win offseason, in my opinion, right? Absolutely. Not enough? You could say it's not enough, yes, but you can't say the offseason was crap. That's my point. That is settling. Arlen, look me in the eyes. Hold on. Look me dead in the eyes here and tell me that getting Crochet was settling. Yes? Arlen, what pitcher was out there that is a better future than Garrett Crochet? Primarily Randy Johnson. Not enough for what the team needs. I already said that you can say that, but you can't say Crochet is settling. Getting Crochet is not settling. Garrett Crochet is a very legitimate Cy Young caliber pitcher, and you're going to throw him out the goddamn window because you're sitting there being like, well, we didn't pay him $300 million. This guy must stink. No? Well, I mean, what do you mean no? They won't even start on opening day. I could not care less who opens the Red Sox season. I have zero tolerance for people who are like, Crochet's not even opening day starter, dude. How could you say this guy's going to be good? There are 162 baseball games. Every pitcher, if healthy, is going to get 30 starts, and you care whether or not they get the first one. You know what I care about? Whether or not they get the last one, right? Whether they host the goddamn trophy. If you're sitting there being like, April 1st or whatever it is, March 31st now, guys, I don't know, man. The Red Sox season's cooked. They got Tanner Houck, the all-star, starting the season, as opposed to Garrett Crochet, the potential the second favorite in the AL for the Cy Young. I don't know how this team could have done this to us, right? They put the all-star who pitched really incredibly for the Red Sox last season and earned it with every ounce of his being over Crochet, the guy with Cy Young potential, guys. We're cooked. We're cooked. The team's dog water, guys. Throw it out. Gee, when do the Patriots start? You would have took Blake Snell. Jay, Blake Snell and Garrett Crochet are the same pitcher. Crochet is just 5 years younger. Hey, thanks for watching, BC. So anyways, chat. We're going to look at some, now that we got the Bregman stuff out of the way. So like the Mariners pitchers last season? What do you mean, Prodigy? How could be their best pitcher? Jay, someone take a screenshot of that. Hey, thanks a lot, Jonathan. Someone take a screenshot of that, please. And hold on to it for me. Oh, I see what you mean, Prodigy, yeah. Limited smoke out of the ears. Like the fans at a Red Sox game. I know. I hate that. I hate this water bottle. I don't know why I use it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take the cap off, I think. Thank you, video game. Thank you. Are we done looking at Luis Castillo? We should be. There's no reason to get Luis Castillo. None. Look at the latest Castillo tweet. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so I think the what do you mean, Bob Dylan? Aaron, Orlin, how many times do I have to say this? It is perfectly acceptable in my eyes to say that the Red Sox did not do enough this offseason. It's not acceptable to sit there and say Crochet is settling when there are so many reasons he's not. I need a 15-ounce mug. I need like a 40-ounce mug. You think 8's going to be the Red Sox closer? Who's 8's? All right, video game. Thanks, man. Is AJ Minter still free agent? Sure isn't. Is Crochet settling? I'm no, because I'm gonna crash out. I'm already crashed out. I'm really gonna crash out, I think. Yeah, I think Chase is going to be a good major leaguer too, Xavier, actually. The Red Sox just didn't really have room for him, honestly. Corbin's a professional crash out? Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell me they could don't. Bob Dylan, what are you saying here? Thoughts on Hall of Fame? I like that. I like that Wagner got in. He deserved to get in. See, now I'm angry. Ichiro, the fact that there was one person that didn't vote for Ichiro, it boils my blood that there's someone out there that's sitting there so proud of themselves that they didn't let Ichiro Suzuki get in unanimously. Like, so proud of themselves. One of the greatest baseball players ever. If you combine Japanese and American, it doesn't even matter. You could pick one, right? He's still one of the best of all time. And you sat there and you said, nah, that guy, he didn't hit enough home runs, Jim. He didn't hit enough home runs. That's my thought. Imagine if we got Paul Sewald. Oh, I agree, Bob Dylan. I'm not happy with the Red Sox not getting a high leverage reliever. Red Sox Crochet's sort of pitcher. GMs will kicking themselves for not trading for him. Yeah, once/if the Red Sox sign Crochet long term, it's gonna look really good. Paul SeaWorld. I love autocorrect. Hey, Dennis, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you. Dude, I don't. No, Kit Kat. We're not even having the conversation about Brazier being the big pickup. We're not doing it. He will be, Robbie. Yeah. Again, at this point in the offseason, I think you're starting to see people play games. Okay, so we are 47 minutes into our live stream. Just gonna take this out because it's making a noise, and I know you guys are. Can we put Crochet in the pen? Out. Get him out. Out. Would you have taken the Pirates offer to the kid who pulled the Skeens 101 card? Yes. He has a bone disorder, Chewy. Okay, so the original point of this is that of this live stream, 45 minutes into it, people are going to be like, this is clickbait. I'm going to lose my mind. original point of this was to have a conversation about some outside targets, right? Guys who maybe have been linked to the Red Sox, who could potentially be targets at some point down the road for the Red Sox, had they not, or do they not pick up anyone else, right? Is this someone that they maybe pivot to if so-and-so fails? That was sort of my conversation. Fire John Henry, it'll be solid B+. They extend Garrett Crochet, you're in B+ territory, for sure. For sure. How about Scherzer to Boston? Why? No, Xavier. People don't know who he is, and so people don't like him. Challenge strike calls. I don't totally love the idea. I'm not totally opposed to it. I just don't totally love it. Okay, so the first guy I wanted to talk about, Chris Cotillo actually just threw some cold water on this, kind of. It's Jurickson Profar. And the reason I bring up Jurickson Profar is because he did have a solid year last year, right? As we get further into the offseason, I think from what we heard about Profar early this offseason was, hey, I want a longer-term deal. Buddy, it's almost February. You're probably not getting a longer-term deal. Could he be a guy that if the Red Sox, they don't want to pay Bregman, they didn't want to pay Soto, Pete, please don't bring up Pete. Maybe this is somebody they look at, they say, maybe there's something here for a short-term deal. Because he was solid last year. I mean, he was really good, right? 280, 380 on base percentage, 459 slug, OPS over 800, 839, 134 OPS plus, hit 24 ding-dongs, 29 doubles, 85 RBIs. Don't love RBI statistic when talking about what a player could be, because I feel like every time people say that, he was hit by a ton of pitches, by the way. Not part of this, just something I'm pointing out here. Historically, right, not exactly the bat that you would want. League average, like almost directly league average, right? 98 OPS plus career-wise. Not normally a huge home run guy. Found himself in San Diego. Honestly, found himself in San Diego in the later part of last year, too, and then coming into this year, kind of found himself again. My question here is, you go into 2024, right? He's a switch hitter, so he gives you a little bit of versatility that way. He could play a lot of positions. Not great, but he can play a lot of positions, so there's the versatility there. He's not crazy old, right? He's 31 years old. It drives me nuts that people sit there and be like, well, he's 31, right? He's going to decline anyway, so why bother getting him? I hate that argument. To me, that argument kicks in with a guy who's 34, 35, as opposed to 31, right? I think at the bare minimum, you got at least 3 solid productive seasons left, especially from hitters. Pitchers, a little bit of a different story. But the other thing you look at, right, is you look at, okay, you want a guy who can hit lefties pretty well, right? You want to balance out this lineup a bit, right? Okay. I'm saying right a lot. I always say right a lot. I actually have to cut it out of videos. That's not the point of this. I keep getting off on tangents, Chad. Last year, right, he hit there it is again. He had 300 against lefties. He had a 385 on base percentage, which is great. 500 slug, which is fantastic. Almost a 900 OPS. It was a 149 OPS plus, 49% above league average production. He had 8 home runs in 83 games against left-handed pitching. So there's that, right? Maybe this is a guy that they sit there and they take a look at and they say, look, we didn't get Bregman. Time's running out. Spring training's coming along. We'll give you a 1-year deal. We just need someone to balance out this lineup. Everyone wants to complain about Bregman being a stopper for these young guys. Profar's not really that, right? It'd be what, $14 million probably ish in that range to get Profar here. It's not going to be someone I think they're too committed to. Someone who could easily move off of into another position if you were to get him. I don't hate this move at all. If it's for a 1-year deal, if it's for anything longer, it's dumb. You should have just paid Bregman. You're an idiot. Henry, you're an idiot. Henry, you're an idiot either way. But with this guy, I don't hate this idea. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. There were a couple other guys I wanted to talk about, so we're just going to pull Spo track up. We will talk about some bullpen pieces as well, because there are still some good names out there for sure. We'll do batters here. Team 2. It's not gonna let me. Oh, all statuses. There we go. Available. So Pete Alonso, I'm out on Pete Alonso. You guys know that. Imagine they bring back Yohan Moncada. That'd be so funny. Bregman, please God. Please God. They bring back Turner, maybe. I don't know. Is Harrison Bader a guy worth looking into? Right. Bader. Don't love that one. Jorge Polanco, is that someone they could look at? Right. Again, he's not crazy old. I don't think he had a great year last year, but he was also playing in Seattle, I believe. Yeah. I don't know, man. The thing is, he doesn't play a ton of games, right? He's got a pretty decent injury history here. You got 118, 180, 104. Then he I almost got a full year, and his full years are fantastic. 269, 323, 503, 125 OPS plus. He had 33 home runs in 21, right? Even here, full season, 153, 295, 356, 841 OPS, 121 OPS plus, 22 home runs. This is a guy who I don't think would be terrible on a one-year deal either. Again, there's some injury risk involved here, but you want to talk about, hey, I don't want to clog up the infield. Polanco's the second baseman by trade. He's a switch hitter by trade. You could move him around a bit. This doesn't have to be an everyday player. Like if you got Bregman, you're putting him in every day. Not great against lefties. Wasn't great against righties either, for being honest. But he just didn't have a great year last year. So yeah, he was much better against lefties, I guess, overall than he was against righties last year. Again, I'm curious to see away statistics. Yeah, he was so much better away. I mean, he wasn't incredibly better, but he was almost 100 points better OPS-wise away than he was at home. This could be a bounce-back candidate, right? Maybe this is someone the Red Sox look at and they say, again, he didn't do crazy well last year. Like maybe we take a look at it. I don't even want to talk about Alonso. Joe, I would get some sleep then, brother. Swings and misses a lot. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, you're at the point now. You're at the point now with these guys, these sort of under the radar players that they aren't perfect. You're not going to find anybody who's perfect. $1.99 super chat from G. Thank you so much, G. Thank you so much. Can we get some likes on that message? Very kind of you, G. He says, with Bregman and Robinson, can we win the AL East? So I said this last live stream, I think. I think we said that. I think we said this last live stream. Can they win the AL East with that? Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes. Yeah, I think you can. I think you can. I think it makes you a legitimate World Series contender. And I don't think that's crazy to say. Again, thank you, G, for your kind donation. I really appreciate you. What would be my reaction if the Sox signed Pete Alonso? Meltdown. I'd have a full crash out meltdown on live and in person. Even if Profar leaves and end up in San Diego again. Yeah, he doesn't. Polanco's not really going to help in the strikeout department, if we're being honest. He had good years for a while, and then recently it's been a lot more strike swing and miss. Again, I'm not going to put too much stock into the Mariners season. It's literally the worst ballpark to hit in America. So not going to put a ton of that into it. I need a hug from every single one of you, to be honest with you. If the Red Sox sign Pete Alonso, yeah, there would be a meltdown. $200 for opening day live stream. I'm going to do one either way, yeah. Aaron, member for 1 month, man. I really appreciate you being here, being a member. Members only live stream tomorrow, folks, for all you members out there. If they sign Alonso, I buy a Dodgers jersey. We have no hitters. We only have Durant and Devers. Come on, dude. Do some research. What about the rumors Vlad Guerrero want to be the Red Sox next year? That's why I would crash out if the Red Sox signed Pete Alonso. I'd go nuts. $5 super chat for Prodigy, my moderator, donating. Prodigy, you don't have to donate to get your comment read. I'm trying really hard. $5 super chat from Aaron. Guys, make sure we're liking those. Thank you so much, Aaron. You know what I need to do? We need like a little, I don't know. You guys watch Tim the Tatman? He used to do like the body roll. You know what I mean? I need to do something like that for you guys when you donate. There needs to be something cool going on. I feel like I don't do enough. Anyway, thank you guys so much. There wasn't even a message attached for Aaron, but thank you so much, Aaron. Ernie Clement. Take a look. Shall we chat? Haven't we already looked at Ernie Clement? Haven't we already looked at him? This would be a trade with the Blue Jays, right? This wouldn't be a free agent signing? No, it wouldn't. He had a good year last year. He's a good defender. High contact guy. Higher-ish contact guy, I should say. Really didn't. Kind of weird. He played 139 games, only struck out 41, but 9% strikeout rate. This guy's an absolute boss. Patrick, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The donation's in the way. I wish us Boston fans were more realistic. Brother, you're not realistic. You're just pessimistic. There's always a difference, guys. You can't... You could be grounded in reality and still be optimistic. Or you could be grounded in reality and just be pessimistic. That doesn't make... it doesn't make one unrealistic. Would he be a good candidate? Yeah, he would be. Just the problem is... you already get picked up. Problem is he'd probably cost a little bit. And if you're going to trade with the Blue Jays, you got to make sure it's worth it. You know what I mean? I can't wait for you to do your live stream, dude. I'm going to come in there and I'm just going to make you feel like you make me feel like every live stream, and you're going to hate me. And it's going to be interesting. Who's the most talented player I met at Fenway Fest? I didn't really meet a ton of players. Tampa Bay's always competing. Huh? Do I have Stathead? No. Tampa Bay wasn't good last year, dude. Limby, dude. Oh, what is your obsession with Marcell Ozuna? The pub beside my head? What? You have all 4 sports for Stathead? I would love that. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting it. I don't know. Walking by me? You should have said hi. Roman Anthony was there, yeah. If you could have had one added, would I sign Vladdy or trade for Tatis to have for the next 10 years? Tatis. I don't even think I'd have to think about that twice. Okay, back to our list here. Let's keep this going. Chat. The next person I want to talk about, this guy has been connected to the Red Sox a few times, is the one and only Carlos Estevez. He's kind of interesting. He's kind of an interesting name. Really great last year. Right, really, really solid last season. I think this was by far and away his best season in professional or Major League Baseball, I should say. I don't have his full statistics pulled up here. If you're looking for a high leverage right-hander, folks, look no further. Look no further. And what I really love about Estevez is he was not only just good with the Angels, where you don't get a ton of high leverage situations. He was good with the Phillies too. He was solid with the Phillies too. One thing that sticks out to me is that FIP is a bit higher, right? It's almost a run higher. 2.45 ERA, 3.24 FIP. I'm looking at the sort of outlying statistics here, right? Hits per 9, walks per 9, strikeouts per 9. They're all solid. The strikeouts are a little bit lower than I'd like. WHIP is under 1, so he's not allowing a ton of traffic. It's a 171 ERA plus, so his ERA was about 71% better than the average pitcher or reliever in Major League Baseball. Probably won't be a long-term commitment. You know, he's 31, so he's not crazy older either. You add him into a back end of Crochet. God no. Whitlock, Slayton, Hendricks, and Chapman with Guerrero and Penrod mixed in there. I think you're looking pretty good. I would kind of like this signing a lot. I know there's a little bit of a tricky pass, but relievers are kind of tricky, man. Relievers are kind of tricky, right? It's kind of tough for me to sit here and crap all over the guy when you could fix one singular thing and all of a sudden for the next 3 years you're golden, right? You don't get a ton of exposure out of the bullpen. So fixing one little thing can make you good and solid for a couple of years. And we've seen that a couple of times in the Red Sox. So I'm not going to go in and just crush this guy. I know there are going to be a ton of people. Oh my God, if the Red Sox sign, oh my God, 4.21 ERA, dumpster dive, right? It's a reliever. Relievers are totally volatile. Totally volatile. So to me, you're looking at the pieces and you're saying he doesn't walk a lot of guys, doesn't give up a ton of home runs or hits, keeps guys off base, minimizes damage. That's all you could really ask for. So that's exactly what you're kind of looking for. To me, with what's left on the market, would I have loved Scott? Yeah, of course I would have loved Scott. Would I have loved Yates? Yes, of course. The Red Sox should have ponied up and paid those guys. They didn't. It sucks. I can't do anything about it. I just have to keep looking at the next possible target. Estevez is that guy. I wanted Hoffman. The fact that the Braves and the Orioles pulled out of a deal because of medicals makes you feel really good about the Red Sox not getting Hoffman. So we'll sort of see where that ends up. But Estevez to me is, and I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong. Estevez to me is right now probably the best option on the open market, in my opinion. And plus, you got to remember, a lot of these years were in Colorado, right? A lot of these years were in Colorado. Gets out of Colorado, sub 4 ERA. Perpetual Noise Machine, thank you so much for re-upping it. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you. I've said Estevez's name since the trade deadline. I like it. Oh, I am saying it right? Nice. Nice. The only way we get Ryan Helsley is if we get Arenado and nobody agrees. My problem is not Arenado himself. I've said it. I like Arenado. My problem is every time Arenado gets brought up, it's Tristan Casas. We're going to blow a lot of games this year. like we've done the last 3 seasons, that to me, JP, immediately tells me that that I don't think you've been watching, right? The bullpen was a problem last year. It really wasn't because of the closer situation the last 2 years. But Devers at second, yeah. Jose Leclerc. Didn't Jose Leclerc sign? I'm pretty sure he signed with the Athletics, didn't he? I don't know. I guess he's still available. He had 2 really good years with Texas, and then he fell off last year. But again, you talk about these relievers, right? There's so many, he had so many good years. This is 15 innings. I'm not really going to count that. But, 2018 he was great. 22 he was solid. 23 he was solid. The FIPS scare the hell out of me. That's the high walk rate. That's what that'll do for you. Strikeouts are good, right? This year he actually had a lower FIP. I think what kind of killed him was the hits allowed. He was allowing a ton of hits. Again, this would be a guy I'd have no problem with the Red Sox picking up. Not a single problem. Career 327, 344 FIP, so it's not crazy off. The walks scare me, but again, the Red Sox have done a really good job. At least the coaching has done a really good job. With sort of limiting strikeout or limiting walks, so I like it. Am I on the Tommy Canley train? Leclerc did sign with the A's? I thought so. $10 super chat from Arlen. His first super chat in here. Can we get some claps in the chat for Arlen? Thank you so much, my friends. Make sure we like that message as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I thought he signed. I thought I wasn't crazy. Okay. So Baseball Reference just hasn't totally updated this yet. That makes sense. Arlen, that was very kind of you, man. Thank you. Tommy Canley, again, is this a guy who was signed? I can't keep track of the bullpen signings. He's a little bit older, but he's been really good. And you know what I like about Canley is he's been really good in bigger markets. Right? He's been really good in bigger markets. This year in particular, last year, the FIPS are really high. And I'm curious as to why. I guess it'd have to do with this walk rate, right? Because the hits per 9, not crazy. He's not giving up a ton of traffic here. The FIP is much higher. Oh, home runs. He gives up a pretty decent amount of home runs. Don't love that, right, for a high leverage situation guy. But he does limit traffic at least. Yeah, this is another guy who I don't think I'd hate at all. I don't think I'd have any sort of problem with Tommy Canley in the Red Sox bullpen. They don't really need like a superstar closer. It would have been nice to get one, right? E, you've done nothing but berate me and call me an idiot and a bootlicker for 2 weeks, and now you're like, I made a channel, Corbin. We should collab. David Robertson, yeah, it's another great option. No, Pete Alonso's not a good idea. Will I cheer for Pete Alonso if he comes to the Red Sox? Absolutely. Do I think it's a smart idea by the Red Sox? Nope, not one bit. Yeah, I mean, David Robertson, I have no problem with this. He's going to be 40 years old, so there is that. But we had old man Martin out there for 2 years, right? And he was fantastic with the Sox. And he's been really good the last couple of years, huh? Look at this, 240 with a 358 FIP, not great. Walks per nine kind of killed him there, but he's still striking out a ton of dudes. Like he's still getting 11K per nine, 10K per nine. He had a 12.4K per nine this year in 72 innings with the Texas Rangers. Honestly, David Robertson might be my guy. This might be the guy. I really like this. I don't hate this at all. Ton of experience. I love that with the young kids in the bullpen. I always say kids like that we're not the same age. I feel like such an idiot saying that. I wonder if any like Red Sox players watch this at all and are like, why is this dude calling me a kid? 303 ERA here with a 355 FIP, 240 with a 358 FIP. David Robertson has a lot of really good qualities. I like this. Whoever brought this up, I like this a lot. I'm sure a lot of you guys have, but I'm a big fan. Breslow loves those swing and miss guys. True. Yeah, Dodgers got Yates too. So this is another kind of one of those names that like we haven't heard connected to the Red Sox. That was kind of the point of this live stream, right? I sit here and I'm like, okay, so even if they don't get Bregman, I think they could still put themselves in a really good place. Jacoby, it wouldn't make a ton of sense. It wouldn't make a ton of sense to trade Yoshida, open up that DH spot, and then immediately sign JD Martinez and fill it back up again. And I'll tell you right now, Jacoby, there is not a single chance in until hell freezes over that Yoshida gets traded to the Cardinals for Helsley. It's just not going to happen. I like the idea, though. Chris Cotillo just put out something about Bregman, too. Chris Cotillo saying, reading between the lines of Jared Krabs' stuff on this, I don't think anyone should feel super confident right now in regards to Bregman. But that has been a tough market to gauge all around. I think that's sort of where we're at right now, right? I think that was sort of what we were saying earlier, is we just don't know. Is Rafaela considered a left fielder now? Rafael's considered an outfielder. He could play anywhere, man. He's just considered a fielder. Luis Perales is throwing again. That's good. Why is Luis Perales throwing 7 months after the Tommy John procedure? Did Flaherty sign yet? No. You think it's possible the Red Sox trade for Correa? 0.00001% chance. To give us Detmers for Yoshida, I'd be pumped. Should we get one more starter? No. I don't think you need one more starter. Are we number one sweepstakes for Bregman? I don't think so. Willier looks so sad at Family Fest. I don't think he was sad. He's just kind of a stoic dude. Like you do see a ton of emotion on the baseball field from Willier, but you don't see a ton of like antics outside of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Reds are engaged with Estevez. Okay. But again, Bregman or not, if I knew that, I'd be making a lot more money, man. Who do I think will improve most on the team? Whitlock. I think people have really low expectations for who Whitlock could be. And I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Corbin, here's my proposal for Nolan Arenado, Masataka Yoshida, Von Grissom, and a prospect for Arenado. I don't think the Cardinals take on if they were to take on Masataka's deal, I think it would have already been done already. Oh, that's cool, Jonathan. If the Cardinals were in any way willing to take Yoshida's contract on, I have no doubt in my mind that deal would have already been done. Genuinely. Because the Red Sox, I think, pretty clearly want to move on from Masataka Yoshida, right? And getting Arenado would be great. I don't love the idea of giving up Von Grissom, but in general, I'm just talking about the Masataka Yoshida part of that. If you could trade Masa, open up that DH spot, sort of flip flop Devers and Bregman, or Devers and Bregman's the only one on my mind right now. Devers and Arenado at third base, even though Arenado's the much better third baseman. Maybe you give Rafi 40, 50 games out there just to keep him happy. I think you do that every time. What's the only recognized Red Sox club, Jonathan? I don't even know what that is. The Bo Sox Club? I've never even heard of it. That's awesome, though. Do I like Wong as our starting catcher? Connor Wong to me is incredibly interesting because I think the talent is there. The answer of am I comfortable with it? No. The honest answer is no, right? He wasn't good defensively last year. Does that mean he's never going to be good defensively? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But if we're just being honest, right? Do I wish they had a better defensive starting catcher? Yeah, absolutely. I will say I think his bat is overhated a little bit because of I think his bat is overhated a little bit because of the baseball savant metrics, right? Those metrics do not go well for him. But you look at it, right? And at the end of the day, the baseball savant metrics are great, and they do tell us a lot about who a player could be or what a player is doing. But what at the end of the day, what matters are these numbers right here, right? Batting average, on base percentage, slugging, right? How many times is he getting a hit? How many times is he getting on base in general? How many times is he going for extra bases? That's truly at the end of the day what matters, because all these expected stats, I love them. I talk about them all the time. You guys know I love them. I'm a stat dude. But stats can only get you so far. Connor Wong offensively this year, and it was helped a lot by a really good first half and a really bad second half. I will say that. But you sit there, a 280, 758 OPS type hitter out of the catching position. I have no problem with that. 24 doubles, 13 home runs. He struck out a crap ton. I think he's always going to strike out a crap ton. He did cut it a lot this year. I don't think people are giving him enough credit for how much he cut his strikeouts. Is Chris Cotillo watching this stream? Chris, are you here? Chris Cotillo tweeting out on Estevez, who we just talked about. Red Sox have checked in but not serious as of this morning. I know you've heard that one before. Thank you. Wonder if they're looking at the trade market for bullpen. To me, just spend. You have room. Lots of guys out there. Just overpay a little and get one. Chris, yeah. Right? Yeah. Yes, Chris. Don't love hearing that. The Red Sox should draft or trade for catcher. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Carlos Narvaez. I think he's going to be introduced to the Red Sox Nation a lot this year. I think the strikeouts with Connor Wong are a bit overblown, if we're being honest. He strikes out what is that? 7% more, or 0.7% more than the average hitter in Major League Baseball. I'm not too worried about that out of our catching position. Yeah, I'm Dubs. I was just thinking that. That sucks. Red Sox signed Profar. Yeah, we talked about him a little bit. Yainer Diaz would be sick. Don't like Wong's bat. What's really to hate about Wong's bat though? The underlying metrics are bad, but look at this stat line and what's bad about this? Like genuinely, what is there not to like about Wong's campaign? The only thing I'll say is he just doesn't walk a lot. It's not that he strikes out a ton. It's that he doesn't walk a lot. If he walked more, the strikeouts, I don't think anyone would really notice all that much. Like looking at it, he strikes out a little bit more than the average hitter in baseball this year. He walks almost 3% less, and 3% over the course of a season is just crushing you. The problem I think people have is you get into these underlying metrics, right? His hard hit percentage below league average, his exit velocity below league average, his ground ball rate above league average, right? His line drive rate below league average, his fly ball rate below league average, right? He's pulling the ball. He's actually not pulling the ball a lot more. He's hitting mostly to center field. And opposite field's more than average. What I ultimately care about is this. Now, the question becomes, can he replicate this? And the answer is the odds aren't in his favor based on the underlying metrics. And that's why the underlying metrics are important, right? It tells you if it's sustainable. Thoughts on the catcher we got from the Giants? I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Dominican Summer League. I don't have access to it. I actually tried to look it up recently. What do you think the Red Sox plan for Story? They really think he's going to be able to give him a full season's worth of play? You kind of have to hope, right? You kind of have to hope. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? You can't sit there and be like, well, Trevor Story's going to give us 30 games. So we're gonna pay $20 million for a guy to sit on the bench and hopefully be your shortstop. And when Story goes down, that's not good roster construction. You just gotta kind of hope that Story does. And the good news here is that yes, E. That's why I'm trying to watch. Good job. Yeah, exactly, Joe. I think the good news is this year is that you do have Prodigy, time me out. I'm sick of looking at him. Time him out. I'm dead serious. I'm sick of looking at him. Logan, back to the conversation here. Trevor Story, you have to just consider. Thank you, Robbie. I didn't realize you were in here. Dominican Summer League's on MLB at bat. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'd love to start watching a little bit more. There's some good Red Sox prospects I like to keep track of. Anyways, the Trevor Story stuff. I think with Story, you have to plan on him being here. You have to, right? If he is on this team, if he is a part of this team, he's going to have a high impact. You have to hope he's going to be here. The good news this year, though, is that you can sort of prepare for him to go down with Marcelo Meyer really close on the wings, right? Not to mention Christian Campbell can play shortstop. Nick Sogard can play shortstop. Say Don Rafael if need to could play shortstop. So you kind of have these built-in backup plans that you haven't had in a little bit. And I think that's a really, really important factor here. I think that's a really, really important factor. I appreciate it, Robbie. Thank you. I see the new Baseball America rankings. Yeah, I did. Roman Anthony getting bumped down for Roki Sasaki kills me. But, I mean, it's the right move. Baseball America should have done that. Christian Campbell, number 4, is crazy. Yeah, Jonathan, I'm looking at Chris Cotillo right now. He's saying the same thing. Everyone's watching me. Yeah. I don't think so, Limby. They already have 6 starting pitching options, Limby. They can only fit so many. 2, 4, and 15 is insane. I'm kind of surprised they have Marcelo at 15, to be honest with you. I think it's just the injury stuff, man. The talent is there for him to be right there in the conversation with Campbell and Anthony. Better use it as motivation. You know what, Arlen? I really hope he is too. Because that, in my opinion, Roman Anthony has the highest ceiling. Christian Campbell, I think, has the highest floor, in my opinion. Marcelo could be the best of the bunch. And you know what? I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to ride for my guy. Marcelo's been my dude for a minute. You know? Arlen, I hope you're right, dude. I really do. Teal fell pretty far. I think what made Teal more appealing is that he was coming up with all these guys. I think a lot of fans, including myself, are gonna see him. That's crazy, Jonathan. Are gonna see him alone on the White Sox as sort of an everyday catcher, just not a the superstar Adley, Buster Posey type player. He's going to be a solid MLBer. Don't get me wrong, but the Dodgers have like 8 starting pitching options. Sure, but like half of those are homegrown, aren't they? We got a Robin Arpin on your car before GTA 6. I think we'll have a pretty good year. I think there's going to be so many options for free agent next year. If we get the courage to pull out the checkbook, we can have amazing 2026. Get the courage to pull out the checkbook. I love that. Yeah, I would love if they had the balls to pull out the checkbook too. Was talking to a prospect scouting guy, say he didn't think Meyer has enough hitting and power potential to be a superstar. Man, that's crazy. But here's my thing. With Meyer, you don't have to hit. You don't have to hit 30 bombs for him to be a superstar, right? If he hits 15 to 20, he's a really good player, and that's all I need. 23 months for versatility, guys. It has almost been 2 years since we've had members, and you guys have been around the entire time, and that is absolutely crazy to me. Versatility, thank you so much for being here. Can we get some claps in the chat for him? For 23 months, the man, the myth, the legend is in the chat. Versatility, you would have had yourself a time. If we sign Bregman, is that block Campbell and Meyer shot the bigs? No. I don't think so. Oh, I agree, Joe. I think you have been a month longer, Mike. I'm not sure. You've definitely been at least a couple of weeks. My point is Marcelo doesn't really need to be a superstar athlete or superstar power hitter for him to be a really good, productive, all-star type player, right? I'm thinking like Xander. Right? I mean, the dude had 28 doubles in 77 games with 8 home runs over the course of last season. Let's say that's about half a season, right? So let's say he finishes a year with we'll give him 17 home runs and 50 doubles with, let's say, 80 RBIs. I mean, that's a middle of the order bat. I just don't get how we sit here and say that Marcelo is going to be a problem. No, Marcelo is definitely not going to be opening day. So it doesn't sound like Bregman's very likely, huh? So we broke this down a little bit, Dill. In fact, I went on a bit of a rant. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think we should be feeling confident, which is a total 180 from. And this is the kind of stuff that happens during an offseason, right? People are going to be like, oh, but you said this morning. Yeah, I didn't have this information this morning. Things come differently. What I will say is at the bare minimum, Dill, the one thing that we can be the one thing that we can be at least relatively optimistic about is that they at least have an offer on the table, right? And this was a preliminary offer. So there is also a possibility that the Red Sox put their preliminary offer on the table. I'm totally saying that word wrong. I know some of you guys hate me for that. There's a real possibility that this is just the first offer, right? Things are going to change rapidly from here. I don't know if that's going to happen, Dill. If we're being honest, I don't have faith that the Red Sox are going to be able to do that. But at least there's that in the conversation. Mark, what's going on, man? Hey, I saw you became a member. You didn't get a notification, so I wanted to thank you once I saw you. So thank you so much for becoming a member, Mark. I'm excited to have you in the members only chat. I still love your idea of Vaughn and Helsley with Arenado. Yeah, I know. Who would it cost? It would cost Casas at minimum. I don't have faith either, but a man can dream. Yeah, I mean that's all. That's all we can do. They could, Logan. I don't think the optics would look good right now with Duran. I guess, I mean, anything's possible, but they've been pretty adamant about him not being a part of it. I also think a lot of people are going to be really upset. Arlen, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate you, man. You've been incredibly generous. This live stream, it really means a lot to me. You see how much more peaceful life is when E leaves. Mods, if you're in here, is there a way to hide someone from the channel? Can you guys do that? Denying the offer for the memes? Yeah. How do we feel if we land Robertson for the pen and that's it? Joe, thank you so much for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate you. How would I feel about it? I mean, I'd be pumped that they got Robertson. I really like Robertson. We just dove into his statistics like 20, 30 minutes ago. I really like that. I think he's a great addition to the bullpen. And that's it. It would be a good offseason. I think it'd be a good offseason, better than some of the ones we've had recently. I don't know that I'm completely satisfied with that, right? I've said this before, Dylan, and I'll keep saying it. Banishee to Denver. I don't hate the idea of relying on these young kids. I love these young kids, right? They're the future of the Red Sox, more likely than not. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they are. But that's sort of the risk, in my opinion. I'd love to move. Hold on to Sogard. Sogard's versatile at the plate. He's versatile offensively. That's a solid. Martin sign. Ooh, Chris Martin. Yeah, Chris Martin's with the Rangers. B grade offseason. We got what I really wanted, which is pitching. I would agree with that. B offseason. They extend Crochet before opening day. It's a B plus offseason, in my opinion. You get Crochet for 6 years. I think I'm feeling really good. So is the back of the bullpen Whitlock setting up Hendricks? Yeah, dude, by the time that thing comes in, Dill, he might be gone. Back to your question, Mark. I honestly think it ends up being Slayton into Hendricks. I think Chapman's in that conversation, right? If it's a couple tough lefties coming up. It's going to be a combination. I actually really like Whitlock. So Andrew Bailey at Winterfest, Fenway Fest, whatever the stupid thing was called. Not that it was stupid. The renaming threw me off. Hey, you too, Arlen. Hey, I really appreciate everything today, man. I really do. Have a good night. Where was I? Oh, that Whitlock was going to be used in more of a what's the best way to put this? Sort of Swiss Army knife role, right? Where he's going to be a long reliever. He's going to be a low leverage reliever if they need him to be. He's going to be a short reliever. He's going to be a leverage reliever. He might close out some games, right? And I think that's a great idea. And it's a great idea. And he has the perfect personality for that too. So I don't know if Whitlock ends up being that go-to high leverage guy. He could end up developing into that, right? If over the season, Slayton isn't cutting it or Guerrero isn't cutting it or whoever, I could absolutely see that happening. $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. Corbin, I got my receipt for a $50 super chat, but it did not pop up. Let me know if you didn't get it. Yeah, can you ask for a refund, Versatility? It would have popped up on here. I got your member for 23 months. I did not get a $50. So make sure you get that money back. I really hope you can get that back. I really appreciate that, and it's very kind of you. But I would hate to see close the poll. I was just thinking that. I would hate to see that end up just sort of in limbo there. Good lineup: Duran, Bregman, Devers, Casas, Story, Roman Anthony, Meyer at second base. It's not bad, Jacoby. No, Jonathan, I did not. Hendrick stroking the microphone. Yeah, they were doing some funny stuff up there. How do the Red Sox address the crowded outfield situation? Personally, I think trading Duran will reap the most rewards, regardless of optics, but I want to hear your take. 2 center fields in one lineup? I didn't even see that. I think the cleanest way is to use Abreu to get somebody. I think that's the cleanest way to do it. The best return would be for Duran. I don't know that trading Duran's the right idea right now. I've said it the whole time. I don't want them to trade Duran. I thought it was on the table this offseason. I don't think so anymore. I think that's been shut down well enough. You could always sort of relegate Cedon, right? Cedon doesn't have to be your center fielder. He's an incredible center fielder, but you could always relegate him to more of a utility role. Maybe you use Sogar and Hamilton to get you something small, right? There are ways to do it. Here's what I've always said. I've always said that at the end of the day, it is better to have too much talent than it is to not have enough talent, right? My fear is exactly kind of what Robbie said, right? My fear is that the Red Sox, they go out and they grab or they trade Abreu or wow, what is going on in our chat today, folks? My Lord. So we get Raymond join the standing room. Thank you so much. And then Versatility comes in here and he says, members only tomorrow. We want as many of you guys in here as humanly possible. So Versatility comes in, he gives 10 Red Seat Radio memberships. Can we get some absolute love in the chat for Versatility, man? He's one of the most generous members of this community. He has been incredibly kind for us this whole time. He's absolutely incredible. Make sure we get some likes on that. And then we get a $1 super chat from Xavier. Thank you so much, Xavier. We're gonna this broop, 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 is gonna go off. There it is again. Just gonna keep going off. Versatility, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. That was super incredibly kind of you. Get some W's. I don't know. We need like a emote to use when someone does something cool. I like the clap emoji. We get some W's, just the word clap, and then Xavier with $1. As always, man. Thank you so much. That was so kind of you. Thank you. Really means a lot to me that you guys donate. You know, even just sitting here means a lot. What up, Celtics fan? Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you. If I get Bregman, will I buy his jersey? Sure. Versatility. I don't, but I really appreciate it, man. I'm trying. I'm trying my best to stay positive. I'll continue to stay positive until I can't be, you know? But I've always appreciated your kindness to this community, and I will continue to appreciate it. So thank you. Zidane is making $14 million a year in the last year of his contract. Utility. What? That's too much for a utility player? I don't. It depends on the way you look at utility, Mark. Right? Are we talking just strictly a bench player, like a defensive substitution type guy? Or are we talking about a guy who comes in and he still ends up playing 110, 120 games? Just it's not in one spot. It's in right field and left field and center field and shortstop and second base. And he's just sort of cycling through, getting guys off their feet, getting guys everywhere, getting guys into the DH role a little bit more, right? That to me is worth $14 million for sure. Thoughts on Dodgers? Listen, man, every team in Major League Baseball could do the same thing. They're just not trying hard enough. That's what I at the end of the day think of. Fangraphs tracked the Red Sox 8th in the American League in 25 WAR, including second league in pitching WAR and 14th in position player WAR. Where do the Red Sox need improvements? Doug, I kind of don't love projections. We will talk about it most likely. I'll probably make a video tomorrow about the Red Sox being projected to be a playoff team. I mean, that is 8th in the American League as a playoff team. Yeah, WAR projections. I don't love either. They always kind of underestimate guys. I also think, Doug, the big thing with WAR projections, in my opinion, is they don't totally take into account progression of youth, right? So you're sitting there, and the Red Sox are extremely young. I think at the plate, they're going to get penalized for that in WAR projections. Bring Joe Kelly back. I would bring him back for sure. I'd bring him back for sure, just for the fun of it. Kyle Finnegan and Joe Kelly would be great for the Red Sox bullpen. Yeah. Idea to free up the outfield. All right, let's hear it, Justin. Willie Masa Sogard, $9 million to the Brewers for Chiaro and Hoskins. What would you do with Hoskins, though? Justin. Logan, my conversation with Duran has always been, if you get a absolutely perfect trade, I don't think he should be untouchable. But you could also hold on to him because you have such talent coming up in the outfield that if he does start to decline, it might not be the worst idea to just not re-sign him, right? You could end up using him as a bench bat / runner, right? Or defensive substitution. If he starts to fall off, he doesn't need to be in the everyday lineup, right? You're not paying him to be in the everyday lineup. Thank you, Corbin, for all the effort. Hey, BC. Thank you. Thank you. Justin, back to your idea. I actually don't hate that at all. My problem would be I don't know how you get Hoskins into the everyday lineup while freeing up that DH spot. If they could get rid of Massa with just Sogar and Willier, for Quiero specifically, I really like. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I don't think the Brewers do that. They're not ones for taking on contracts very often. Duran declined. I'm not saying Duran is declining at all. My point is we have this conversation of what's he going to be in 4 years or whatever when he's a free agent. Like, should we lock him up now, or is he going to be declined by the time he gets to free agency? And my point is you can kind of afford to take that risk with him because you have so many other talented players in the outfield. Raymond, if I had to put my house money on what the opening day outfield's going to look like, I would put it on that. I wouldn't totally take it out of the equation of an Abreu. To me, it's sort of Abreu trade, Cedon trades down here, and then like 10 feet of crap, and then a Duran trade. You know what I mean? $2 super chat from Xavier. He said, need to replace Tyler's 30 bombs. So I think that's where projections are starting to bring out a narrative, right? Because first and foremost, Xavier, thank you so much for your donation. Make sure we like that message. That was a second donation tonight. It's very kind of him. The problem with, hey, Tyler's gone, we already lost 30 home runs. To me is, yes, statistic on paper you did. But you do have a healthy Casas coming into this year. You do have a healthy Story coming in this year. You've got a second-year Willier who hit what? Willier hit what? 16 last year, right? You've got Roman Anthony coming up. You've got Christian Campbell coming up. You got a healthy Vaughn Grissom. You're telling me they're on 30 home runs between the what did I name? 7 of those guys? Right? I think you make it up in aggregate with the rest of the lineup. I don't think you're going to miss too much of Tyler O'Neill's power. You're not going to be like, man, you know, this guy's hitting 40 bombs this year. Or maybe Casas does. He's the one guy I think outside of Rafi who's capable of doing that. But I think you see, you see 20 from a healthy Story. You see 15-ish from a healthy Grissom. There's 35 that you didn't have last year. You see between 25 and 30 from Casas. There's another 30 you didn't have last year. A healthy Rafi gives you more home runs. There's another 5-10 on what he did last year. Willier in his second year, I think, makes more contact with baseball. So there it is right there, right? And then you add in an Anthony and a Campbell, and whatever they give you is just cherry on top of the cake. So, yeah, you did lose out on Tyler's 30 home runs, but there is plenty of talent to make up for that right here in this lineup already. And I'm not totally worried about losing out on that, if I'm being totally honest. Oh, yeah. Everything has to go perfect for us to make the playoffs? Perfect, no. Optimistic, yes. I think that's two different. There's two different. Last year, everything had to go perfect for the Red Sox to make the playoffs. This year, you have a little bit of a blanket. You still need guys to do well. Does that make sense? I mean, every year you need guys to do well, right? You're not going to make the playoffs when guys have average seasons. But yeah, O'Neill will walk the Red Sox off at some point, yes. Logan, man, I really appreciate you being here. I try my best. I really do try my best to have legitimate conversations with people. Unless you're disrespectful to me, then we're gonna get disrespectful back. And I do need to get better at that. People love baiting me into doing that. I do need to get better at that, but I really try. You know what it is? It's just I'm so passionate about the Red Sox. I'm so passionate about the Red Sox that I sit here and I don't know. I pour myself into it. Does that make sense? Like every fiber of my being goes to this team. Well, actually goes to my fiance, and then it goes to my team. But It's just everything in me, you know. It takes a toll. I think I'm legitimately starting to go gray because of the Red Sox on this channel. But I love it, you know. I love it. What are your thoughts on Costas' DH? You could fit him. You could fit Vlad at first, Devers at third, Bregman at second. I mean, it'd be great. It'd be great. I don't know how realistic it is, man. I just don't have faith the Red Sox put up the money for Vlad. I just don't. So how do Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell find playing time in the outfield with Durant? Maybe I'm talking crazy, but I would seriously consider Fat Hall. Yeah, dude, that would be a lot. That'd be a lot. Honestly, me and other mods need to be quicker on time of people out there baiting. No. No, I mean, guys, it's not you know what I mean? I have you guys in here to help me. I don't want you guys to feel as though you're policing the chat. I don't want to make this a job for you guys. You think we have a good chance at Bregman? A good chance, yeah. Do I think they'll take advantage of it? I don't know. Have I looked into Brian Reynolds as a trade candidate? Brother, I would love Brian Reynolds. I love Brian Reynolds. I think he's an absolute stud. I don't even know how he did last year, but I don't think this is someone the Pirates are going to want to get rid of, but man, I'd love this dude. He's just constantly solid. Look at that OPS plus, man. Basically since his okay, we're not going to count 2020, but basically since his debut, he's been an above average bat. You know, constantly giving you more than 20 home runs, almost 25 a year. Constantly giving you 30-ish doubles. Except for 22, he didn't hit a lot of doubles. But man, underrated player in the game, if you ask me. What was his splits against... Let me check out his splits. I'm just curious which side of the plate he gets better on. Much better against right-handed pitching. Much better. But like not crazy. He does strike out a lot. That's the one thing. He strikes out a lot. But he's a 4-WAR player. Ish. It's not crazy. It's league average. Never mind. I thought it looked like a lot more than it was. He just played a lot of games. That's the other thing, too. Look at this. Look at the amount of games he's played. 156, 145, 145, 159, 134. That was his rookie year. Brian Reynolds would be a dream, man. Brian Reynolds would be a dream. Haven't won without top closers. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think Liam Hendricks could be a top closer. He has been before. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Mark. So if you take a look at all the prospect rankings, MLB Pipeline, Red Sox have 2 top 5 guys. They have 3 top 10 guys. Baseball America, they've got 2 top 5 guys. They've got 3 top 15 guys. It's crazy. Hey, you too, DP. Thanks a lot. You're still iffy on the pitching rotation, Bobby. I honestly think that might be the one area I'm really not all that iffy on. But it's really cool to see, Mark. It's cool to see how much talent this Red Sox system has. And the other thing too is it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, right? Breakout stars are being predicted for the Red Sox. Franklin Arias is coming up. People have forgotten about Yoellen already, Blaze already, Nazan Zanatello if he could figure it out. Really, Robbie? Just catch up with the Bregman stuff in the stream. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to stay with it. By the time my video came out today, it was already old news, man. You know what I mean? It's the life of a YouTuber, though. Yeah, it kind of sounded like today, Robbie, that the Red Sox put in their initial offer and people within the Bregman camp didn't take it very well. I've been saying all along, and I think you have too, and a lot of other creators. We kind of already knew that they weren't going to blow him away with an offer, right? I think we all understood that if the Red Sox were going to get Bregman, it was always going to be under their terms dictated by the market. So I'm not incredibly surprised that the first offer legitimately put on the table is one that Bregman's camp is like, you know what I mean? So I'm not super surprised by it. People love to hate the Sox, talk about how they don't spend, which I agree on. Every team needs to spend more. Wouldn't expect anything tomorrow. At this point, you got to feel kind of bad for Bregman, huh? This dude plays his butt off for so many years, and he just gets saddled into this sort of old Western shootout of sorts. You know what I mean? 40% chance the Sox sign him. That was way higher than mine, Robbie. I gotta be honest. I said 25. This morning, I was super confident. It's just the Carabas stuff, the Chris Cotillo kind of just throwing cold water on it. I'm kind of sitting here. I'm like, I don't know. But I like 40%. You guys heard it. Kind of still sounds like it. Sox are playing the JD strategy. Yeah. So again, with the offer that Krabs is kind of hinting at, it makes sense that it's incredibly low, doesn't it? Thank you so much, Rusty's, for 8 months as a member, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here for 8 months as a member of the channel. Go ahead, some claps in the chat for Rusty's, please. I appreciate it. More teams involved here. So, Robbie, I was kind of playing over who could possibly also be involved because they haven't been publicly named. I assume the Mets are having conversations with them. I mean, you had the manager of the Houston Astros say something about it. Maybe there's something there. I feel like Robbie's stealing yourself from last stream. Robbie plagiarizing versatility, folks. Did we just catch a story? Breaking news. Realistically, how long could we see the Sox going with Bregman in order to stay competitive in the talks? Probably the entire time, I would assume. I honestly think the Sox told Bregman what they want, but have not made an official offer per se. It sounded like that was the latest. It sounded like recently they've made at least some sort of an offer. You know? They've at least made some sort of an offer for Bregman. It's clearly not an incredibly competitive one right now compared to other offers that are on the table. But I don't know. Do I think the Red Sox will fall off in the second half again? I don't know if I can predict that. I don't know if I can predict that. Hey, what's up, Connor? I'm good, man. How you doing? That's a tough question, man. Here's what I think separates the Red Sox breaking it down last year, break it down this year, break it down in years past. There were different reasons why the Red Sox broke off during years past. Joe's right. I do think they're better equipped this year. I also think it's going to rely a lot on these younger players. Is Christian Campbell and Roman Anthony, are they going to be opening day answers? Probably not, but they could be, right? Are they going to be first couple of months, first couple of weeks? Are they going to be deadline upbringings? Upbringings? Why did I just say upbringings? I can't remember the word now. Upbringing is wrong. Call-ups. There we go. Took me way too long to figure that out. I don't know. Surprise team, maybe. That's what worries me. That's what worries me about the Bregman stuff. You look at the Corbin Burns thing. I got to assume the Giants felt fairly good about their chances too, trying to play out this market. And the Diamondbacks come in and say, you know what? We'll give you what you need. Yeah, the Cubs to me feel like it's another 3 years type thing, Robbie. It doesn't sound like they're like, we'll push it to 4 or 5. It sounded like, hey, you want a Cody Bellinger deal? We'll give you one. Tigers seem to be, it feels like all the teams that are after Alex Bregman are sitting there also doing the exact same thing. We're sitting here like, man, the Red Sox look smart. But I don't know. Mets wearing a trench coat and sunglasses. Yeah, I could see the Mets doing something. What's up, Jack? Sonic the Hedgehog. Go about the D-backs for Bregman. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If he's open to short-term deals, I think a lot of teams are going to jump in. I think once teams hear that he's open to a short-term deal, you're going to see a lot more teams start hopping in. Have I been? I've been good, Zachary. I've been good, man. How you been? Begging the Nats to make a move. The Nats are a talented young team, man. That would be fun if they made a move. I'd love to see them get a starter in there. Maybe a Flaherty to Nats. That'd be kind of fun. What do I think of Ha-Seong Kim? He's a great player. He's just not an immediate impact. And if you're not going to have an immediate impact, I don't know. Anyone want to speculate what the Alex Cora post was about? Yeah, it was about Puerto Rico. That's what it was about. Something about Puerto Rico. It was either a sporting event or maybe it was something about the Hall of Fame ballots. I know it was about Puerto Rico, though. Do I think baseball should change the way free agency in the offseason goes because it takes so long? Yes and no, right? There are years where the offseason's great, and there are years where the offseason's incredibly slow. I don't know if I change it all that much. I think there's something unique about the MLB offseason, where as fans, you can really sort of go into detail and develop strong opinions about truly what you think is the best move for your favorite baseball team. In other sports, it's sort of like, oh, we want the big name, and if we don't get the big name, okay, quickly, let's do our research, and then you just randomly get some guys, right? In baseball, like look at my channel, right? We post every day, and we've gone over every single potential possibility and then some with the offseason. I think that's something unique to baseball. I think the Red Sox simply read his market and know they don't need to get aggressive here. They did get a bit aggressive with Fried. Yeah. I mean, Fried to me was, oh crap, the Yankees are getting desperate. Let's see if we can lock him up. And then they just ended up, the Yankees were just too desperate for the Red Sox, I think, at that point. Yeah, they aren't aggressive. And again, if it works out, it's going to be fantastic. If Bregman signs with let's say the Diamondbacks on a 3-year deal with an opt-out after 2, I'm going to lose my mind, though. Carabas, Robbie, and Corbin should have a show on Nesson. Robbie, what do you think, bro? We trying to do we're trying to hit up Nesson? I don't think Carabas would be too down for that, but hey, Robbie, you and I would tear up the Nesson studio, I think. 4 years would be perfect, yeah. If Bregman's open a 3 or 4 year deal, he'd have already signed with us. That's the thing, though. We knew that the Red Sox didn't have a formal offer on the table, though, versatility, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, I've met Carabas a couple of times. Here's a good question. Does Pivetta go unsigned and we lose the draft pick? God, I hope not. I really hope not. That would be so bad. I think Pivetta ends up getting signed somewhere. I really do. I think someone ends up signing Pivetta. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Blue Jays. It used to be a draft for players outside the U.S. Japan has become an LA farm team. The only thing I don't love about the draft outside of the U.S. is it feels like a lot of people would exploit like being able to draft a 16-year-old for a little money, you know? There used to be the Corbibis show. I would never be able to pronounce that. Do I like Pivetta? Yeah, I like Pivetta. I just don't want him back on the Red Sox. Detroit, Cincinnati, and the Angels. Oh, man. Pivetta in Detroit would be kind of nuts. I don't know why. But I just feel like that would be kind of nuts. Cincinnati, Pivetta would get destroyed in Cincinnati. That'd be kind of interesting to see. The Angels, yeah, all right. I mean, whatever. But Detroit to me feels like it'd be a fun fit. Dylan Carlson from Tampa Bay. I wouldn't want to give Willie Abreu to Tampa Bay. Yeah, so there'd have to be a ton of parameters, Joe. And I also, that I don't know. There's a lot. There's so much the international part of this. You know what I mean? Like guys get signed so young. Like you would have to adjust that. You would have to adjust your rules for players coming over from Japan. I don't know. Cincinnati is not a hitter-friendly park? What? Yes, it is. What's up, Dennis? Still massive, bro. Yeah, it is. I'm good, Alex. How are you? Man, Pivetta has to get signed. I would be so shocked if Pivetta didn't get signed now that I'm thinking about it. Pivetta to the Giants? Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. All right, chat. Yeah, Cincinnati outside of Colorado is where hitters want to play. If we're just picking ballparks. I don't think it's a year issue. I think it's an AAV issue. I think it's why Carabas said it's pathetic. I just don't think it matches some of the other offers on the table. I think that's why he said it. Yeah, see. Yeah, it gets so complicated when we're talking about like Central America. To be honest with you. Like it's not a bad idea for Japan, but I don't know. I don't know how like you can't just have like a Japanese draft. That wouldn't work. So you'd have to find a way to I don't know. It's a really complicated question. All right, chat. Who do I think will end up first in the division this year? The Red Sox. Honestly, I don't know. I think money goes to the Yankees, but I don't know. Bregman leverage is all but gone. I don't know how. How is the Bregman leverage gone? I think the Red Sox still have plenty of leverage. No other team wants to give them years. I think we're fine. Well, there's your answer, Laser. Thank you. Teams have all, yeah. Bregman doesn't have a ton of leverage right now, for being honest. The further we get towards spring training, the less likely it is that Bregman gets the deal he wants. Hey, Warrior Wagon. What's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. I saw it snow. Did it snow in your area too? I saw it snowed in Texas. What are the odds of a postseason run if they get Bregman? High. I think they're solid right now, to be honest with you, man. I think they're solid right now. But I think it's a legitimate lock. I would put money on the Red Sox making the playoffs if they get Bregman. John Birdie. The great John Birdie. The closer we get to spring training, the less you want Bregman. Oh, I don't know about that. To me, that doesn't make a ton of sense because you could just get him for the shorter deal. All right, chat. I think we did a lot today. Talked about Bregman. Talked about a ton of different options for the bullpen. Talked about some options outside the box. for outside the box for some minor signings the Red Sox could make that I still think impact this team. I think we covered it all, guys. So, wow. 8 inches of snow in Texas. Miss Fenway. That's wild, man. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, because I can't imagine your road systems are heavily equipped for that. Either way, guys, for those of you who donated, gifted, or became members today, I really appreciate you. It means a lot. For anyone who just hung out, had fun with us in this chat, you know, there's obviously there's not a ton going on. There's not a ton going on, so it means a lot to me that you guys are hanging out, man. It really does. It warms my heart every time I see this. If you're new here, we do this once a week. We also do Red Sox content every day, except for Sunday. So if you like that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button on your way out, would help this channel out a ton. Best way to let me know you enjoy these kind of things. What else am I missing here? Oh, yeah, members tomorrow, 7 p.m. Members tomorrow, 7 p.m. Don't forget. Well, that's it, man. There's a versatility. I appreciate that, man. I kind of needed that today, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I needed the kindness today. That's why I finally got E out of here. I just need some kindness in the stream today. So I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, thank you. You guys mean the world to me. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll probably be going over projections for the Sox right now. I think that's going to be kind of a fun one. There are a couple different projections going on, so we'll take a look at them. I think it could be kind of fun. Yeah, guys. I wish I had more to say. But I don't. So thank you all for being here. To everyone. And I will see you all in the red seats.